Subtleties. In a world where everything seems to be black and white, we have to look at certain subtleties in order to achieve business success and influence other people to achieve business success as well. Hello, this is Patrick, founder of the Brave Advantage. This is Client Success Secrets, the show, and I am very pleased to tell you that today we're going to share some fascinating insight about what it means and what it takes to be successful in business. This show is especially made for two types of people. You could either be an entrepreneur who has gone through one or more marketing courses, but you struggle to finish them. This show is going to fill those gaps so that instead of joining multiple courses endlessly and learning a lot of different systems in a way that's not congruent, you will be able to make the most from the current course that you're taking. The second type of person that this show is for is marketing experts who are making somewhere between multiple six figures and seven figures and maybe even eight figures, but your goal has already gone way beyond money, way beyond getting more clients. And what you want to do is to help 100% of your clients succeed. And if you believe that's an impossible aim, you gotta watch this show. It will blow your mind. So, in today's episode, this is episode 6, we're going to go through the following. Let me share my notes with you. So, first, client success secrets of the day. Today, we're going to talk about subtle distinctions, and that subtle distinction could make or break your success. I'm talking about the difference between business strategy and business foundation. This subtle distinction not only will motivate your coaching clients even when things don't go their way, that's for you entrepreneurs, but it completely redefines the success formula. I am very serious and you're gonna love what you're about to hear. Or maybe not. It could really be mind boggling. Section 2 is going to be about my journey, what I'm working on this week. So I want to share a little bit of what I've done a couple of weeks ago, where I launched my masterclass called the Client Revolution Masterclass. Super exciting stuff there. It was the 3 secrets to unlocking sustainability and profitability in a business as a marketing expert. And the secret is to care about all your clients. And believe it or not, that will make a fascinating difference between growing at a certain pace and really blowing things up. And again, it's not about the money, but believe me, by fostering client success, you will be able to build a much more profitable business ethically, sustainably, and better. You're going to influence more people, impact the world the way you were supposed to all along. Now, section 3 is going to be what I like to call comeback coaching in action. This is the name of my framework for turning unsuccessful clients into raving fans who grow your business for you. So if you are a marketing expert and you care about helping all your clients succeed, but for real, you never sort to blame, you don't allow anyone to just get stuck and quit, that's the type of care I'm talking about. This is world class client care. This is what most people are not doing at all. And this is some of the awareness that I am also meant to raise by creating this show. So, back to comeback coaching. Today, we're going to talk about how to build a strong business foundation before making any sales. So, this is a key. Hang on, my notes are going up and down a lot. This is a key lesson for coaching clients who seem to try it all but don't experience results. So I've been in that place. It's a very painful, very desperate place to be. You may have been there too, or you may already be here. So this episode could be your salvation, no joke. Now let's talk about section 1, the subtle distinction between business foundation and business strategy. Oh, when you look online, most of the talk, most of the speech message goes around business strategy. So what this looks like is follow this process. This is my step-by-step system. This is the framework that I built through years of trial and error. You are familiar with the talk. You've heard it, you probably say it, and it's great. It's wonderful. You know why? Because you are taking your experience in order to support way more people. In other words, not only you're giving people a shortcut, but you're also saving them from pain, which is awesome, right? So every mistake that you made, to some extent, you can help others avoid them, right? Because you have that experience. And this is awesome. And I want you to never stop doing that. But there's a tricky thing here. And the mainstream marketing, online marketing to be accurate, is somehow designed for people with very low self-esteem. And honestly, this is something that I've always criticized about online marketing. What do I mean by this? So this is what it looks like. Anyone can do it. I built a system that you can do without experience. You can follow a simple process that even if you've never made a sale before, you can follow this success formula without any tech skills. Even if you're an introvert, even if you don't want to show your face, even if. So basically, what we're telling our audience, which creates a ton of sales, by the way, is that they are have zero confidence and self-esteem, and zero. So what we're trying to cover here is that our audience, entrepreneurs who are buying marketing courses, they have bought in the lie that they are nothing. And when you come from that mindset, it's going to be really, really hard to succeed. But things get worse though, because let me take you back to a time. Imagine that you were watching this, crazy webinar, that you were in this crazy workshop, that you were delivering, even like a crazy workshop or a crazy webinar, and then you were thinking about certain obstacles that were getting in your way. So every good webinar, every good challenge, every good workshop is structured in a way that will break limiting beliefs. And what that looks like is that if somebody says, I know I want to do this, but I am not tech savvy, the webinar will have a section where they address that objection. They go like, oh, did you know that you could hire help at a low price, for instance? Did you know that this software is actually very, very user friendly? And I've taught a kid how to use it. That is smart marketing, people. You're breaking people's beliefs, and the more you break them, the easier, the smoother that transition from stranger to client is going to happen. But now, that sounds great. Like, this is good marketing, people, but you need to understand that this is setting people up for failure. Reminding that a monkey can do it, a 12-year-old can do it, somebody without experience can do it, someone introverted can do it. You're talking to a person with no self-esteem. And that is going to give you a sale, but that's definitely not going to give results to that person. And then you glorify, I mean, this is everyone is involved here. We glorify a certain system, a certain process that we discovered. And we said to our prospects, oh, this is the perfect system. This is my fascinating hero's journey story, and it's going to work for you because it worked for me and it worked for other people who I know have been successful with it. So what happens after? What happens after is that the system is supposed to be the perfect strategy that anyone can follow. Can we stick to that definition for a moment? Business strategy means that you have a step-by-step system that's simple, that anyone can use and get results. So this is the doom of client success. This is what makes most people fail at marketing courses. The reality is, no matter how good we say we are, there's a lot of uncertainty, and there are too many reasons for people to fail at entrepreneurship. It's not an easy game. Whoever says it's an easy game, they're completely wrong. Whoever says it's simple, they are completely wrong. And it might trigger a few people, but that is what I've seen in hundreds of people, what I've seen in my own story, my own journey. It has been super difficult. And pretending that it's so simple is a roadblock. We're building a wall that stops people from moving forward. Why? Because every time they fail, every time they get stuck, they think, oh, this was so simple, but I just can't make it work. It must be my fault. That's the worst place you want to put your clients in. If you're an entrepreneur, not like a marketing expert, like a guru guy, you must have been in that place at one point or another. In my case, in anyone who's been in the game for long enough, 5 years here, has been in that place more than once. Now, what does this have to do with business foundation? What is business foundation? The business foundation, I like to think of it as a collection of assets that help you move forward in your journey faster in order and be successful, right? So you're going to have less obstacles, you're going to deal with obstacles differently, and you're also going to move faster, and you'll probably have higher chances of success. At the end of the day, what you're doing when you're building your business foundation is use all your assets. I'm going to define that in a little bit, to increase your chances of success to the highest. And that has nothing to do with how good your strategy is. And why? Because not everybody, here's the kicker, not everybody has a solid business foundation. So you may have a foolproof system, a monkey proof system, a child proof system, but you can still fail. The second thing, another thing that we're doing sort of in a sneaky way, is to question the very success formula. The success formula proposes, as I've learned it, as I've seen it online like crazy, that we basically have a point A and point B, right? So point A is where your clients are, point B is where they want to be. So that is the promise that marketing experts make with their courses or programs. Are you with me here? Great. So then we have what I like to call the system of success. This is the strategy that anyone can do because it's simple, because it's foolproof. And lastly, what any person going through a program has to do in order to be successful is to take action. And the fuel of that action, of those series of action, is a strong mindset, right? Everything is in mindset. So if you ask me, that formula sounds super logical. That sounds super complete. But today we're going to question it. We're going to question it hard because if that was true, more entrepreneurs would be successful. We can't just say that 98% of the population is lazy. We can't just say that everybody has unrealistic expectations, even though ourselves, the marketing experts, promise unrealistic expectations. It's not your fault. Like, we are playing the game by the rules, but the game is rigged. The game is setting people up to fail. And then you have the few successful ones who are the 1%, 2%. And instead of glorifying the 1%, we should ask ourselves, why is it that most people fail at business courses and programs? That is the real question that we're trying to answer in this show. And fortunately, not only we're going to find answers, but also we're going to find solutions for those answers. Are you with me? Let's talk about this business foundation a little bit more. So, number one, not any dumb person or lazy person can have a successful business. False. Part of your business foundation of anyone, not just somebody new or somebody seasoned, anyone, is skill. And skill is a lot more than just having a process that foolproof. You need practice. You need to see it once, you need to see it twice, you need to learn it, you need to implement it, and finally you will have to get good at it. And in a lot of cases, you're not, if you are an online entrepreneur starting from scratch, in a lot of cases, without that skill development gap, you will not get the result that you're looking for. So what happens in most cases is that we take the foolproof system, we try it once, and then it doesn't work, and then we quit. Quitting, what quitting looks like is that you will move to another strategy that's not fun at all. I've done it. You would say, you know what, this strategy didn't work. Boom, throw it out the window. I need a new one, right? You never blame the guru, or maybe you do, but sort of, like this. So you go to the next guru, they offer something super new, super sexy, super exciting, and you go like, yes, I'm believing in this again. I'm going to buy this course. And what happens is that in most cases, it's not going to work the first time around. It's like almost a guarantee that it's not going to work the first time. Again, one reason for it is skill development. Let's talk about some of the other reasons, some of the other assets that are required for a business foundation. Another one is uh, the strength of your idea, your offer, and your messaging. I put them in that very, very particular order. So let me tell you, if your business idea is weak, which means that you chose to solve a problem that not a lot of people have, or maybe you chose to solve a problem that you think your people have but they don't, or at the end of the day, everything is problems and solutions, right? Maybe you chose a problem, there are lots of people who want to solve it, but they're not willing to pay for it. Or maybe they know they have the problem, they are willing to pay for it, but they don't have the money to do it. And when you fall in one of those many scenarios, those are just a few, you will also fail. So you can have a foolproof system, strategy, call it. You can have a powerful mindset. So I've seen lots of people with solid mindsets who fail still. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but it does happen. So while we are blaming the laziness, the weak mindset, or the lack of, sticking to every little step in a foolproof system, we're actually missing on these very important factors. So if the business idea doesn't suit the market, you have a weak idea, you have a weak foundation, and you will fail no matter how courageous you are. Make sense? Another point is the offer. So once if your idea is good, your offer will have a much better shot at being a winning offer. So your offer is what you trade, what you're giving people in exchange of money. So that is something more specific. When you say what your business does, you can have like a beautiful value statement, as I like to call them, where you say, oh, I help certain people with certain problem with my strategy, right? But then you have the actual offer, and the offer looks a little different. That's what people pay for. So you will build, as an entrepreneur, you will build a very specific service. Digital products, like physical products. Then you will have done with you, done for you, do it yourself, and etc. etc. You'll have memberships, software, like whatever it is. There are lots of options, but at the end of the day, you will want to build a very powerful offer that stands out, and that's what's going to also add. That is also an asset that strengthens your business foundation. And the stronger it is, the more chances you have. Not only that, what's really interesting is that as you work on your foundation, if you have a really, really strong foundation, you require less action to get superior results. So let me repeat that again. When you have a strong business foundation, you you are required to take less action to get better results. So the old success formula goes right out the window with that. And but I'm not done yet. Let me tell you a few things more about business foundation. Do you remember telling your clients or hearing from your favorite guru that you don't need a lot of money to get started, that you don't need a lot of important connections to be successful? Well, that's kind of true. We should never like discourage people from pursuing their dreams because they don't have a certain something, right? Of course, that's our job. That's how we inspire people. That's how we change the world. But here's the kicker: those are very real, very tangible advantages. So if somebody has to learn like sales, marketing, software, building funnels, advertising, like any solo entrepreneur has to learn lots of skills by themselves in order to be successful. Learn a lot, get good at them, execute them consistently, get better and better and better, and then build that business foundation and business success. Consistent sales, consistent everything, quitting their job, dream lifestyle, etc. Um, but what if you didn't have to do all that? If somebody has a fair amount of money to invest to get things going, of course they should do it. And instead of learning five skills, maybe they just learn one skill and they hire other people. Maybe that's when you have money, right? Maybe you learn two skills and you hire people in software. Maybe if you have a certain network of people, you could get a co-founder who's a tech genius, and then you don't have to learn that. So connections and money make a difference. They solidify your business foundation. They increase your chances of success. But what mainstream marketing is telling everyone is that if you are not learning everything and taking all the action and grinding like crazy, you're not going to be successful. And it's going to be your lack of determination, discipline, mindset, blah, 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 that's going to stop you from being successful. And this is a very like big myth that I see a lot everywhere. And I'm going to fill you in with a little story before I move to section two. And that is that there is the myth is that your business savviness can is only measured in cash, which is ridiculous. In other words, people say things like, well, if you want to learn from the best, you want to learn from somebody who's making $1 million a year. You want to learn from someone who's making $10 million a year. The, there is no way that somebody making less than that knows more than them. Make sense? So business savviness, let's call it, and money, they go together, like side by side. You got to that point because you're super skilled and super genius at business. That is fake. That is false. And let me give you an example. The story I said I would tell. A few years ago, when the pandemic started, I remember reading an article on the hot dog stand. So there's a man in New York who is selling hot dogs. And it turns out that even though that's a very low priced product, he was making an insane amounts of money. He would make, if I recall correctly from that article, he would make approximately $3,000 every single day. That sounds like a ton, doesn't it? For most people, that's an insane amount of money, right? So 3,000 a day is times 10. So times 10 times 3, that's like, is it 900,000? I think so. Um, how much is it? What is it? 3,000 times 10, 30,000 times 3, 90. Okay, I got you. $90,000 per month. Um, Anybody in this world would think that that's a lot of money, and it is. that positions you, closer to making $1 million a year. As a matter of fact, it does make you $1 million a year or more. And now let's talk about this guy for a little bit. And again, just let me, before I get going, there is nothing wrong about this guy. Okay, so he's selling hot dogs. He's making $3,000 a day. He's had the opportunity to continue investing in more stands, so he covers a wider area of the beautiful New York City, and that's what he's making. And this we're talking about a population that is one of the most crowded in the entire world. People in New York not only walk around by the millions, they also have a lot of money to spend. And this man was in the right place at the right time. It's not a lot more than that. But some people would argue that he's a business genius. Why? Because there's this myth that knowledge and skill match income. That is false again. So I want you to really take things with a grain of salt moving forward. Don't believe everything you see. Don't think that you are nobody just because you're not making $1 million. Don't think that everybody making $1 million a year is a genius. Start questioning things. Use judgment. Don't be the person who just gets crazy impressed by numbers. That's what a lot of people are counting on. We know, marketing experts, people like you and I know that it's very easy to persuade people by flashing big numbers. And trust me, that trend is going to end soon. Why? Because people are going to catch up. People are going to become smarter. They're going to realize that there are lots of exceptions to the success formula, that there are lots of exceptions to the money skills myth. And we're also going to see something else, something beyond that. And that is that most people who are taking business courses fail. They fail and quit. And no matter how awesome the guru is, no matter how much press they receive, they are unable to fix this problem. And one of the biggest reasons we are unable to fix this massive problem in the online education industry is that we don't think it's possible to do it, or we don't think it's our responsibility to do it. We remember resorting to blame. That's what happens a lot. Awesome. I hope you got some value from this. So, business foundation versus business strategy. I hope you're with me now. Let's talk about me for a little while. And so, what I've done in the last couple of weeks is pretty insane. So, last month, all of March, I received this fascinating opportunity, which a lot of people did because it was a ClickFunnels offer where Russell Brunson was offering this sales funnels launchpad that allowed you to build a webinar funnel quickly, including the follow up funnels, which is another term for email follow ups or email sequences. So I had this crazy opportunity. I was building a webinar and then I said, yes, this is exactly what I need. So I took them up for the offer. It was a 30 days trial to get the free everything, including trainings, including step-by-step tutorials for the software. I did it. So I've gone through, I went through the whole thing. I built my funnel pretty quickly, I must admit. Super happy about it. I wrote all the emails and then I launched. So the launch happened almost 3 weeks ago and it was a fascinating experience. I was so happy of how the masterclass turned out and did my whole three secrets and my whole the online education system is broken. And I also presented my offer and the stack and some of the closes. And I asked people to book a call. So my offer was called the Comeback Coaching Partnership, which is a one-on-one offer, very exclusive. I only work with 3 to 5 clients at a time. I really have to see what it looks like to work with 3 clients at a time, but that number might go up to 5, but that's it. This is not a huge program. It requires a lot of one-on-one. It's very intimate, and the kind of results that we're looking for are savage. So I made my offer. People had to book a call with me. I really wanted to qualify prospects. I didn't want people to just go on a page and pay me thousands of dollars. It was obviously pricey as well. And it turns out that I not too many people came. So to give you these are my stats. I reached out to approximately 17, 20 people who were in my Facebook circle. I use social media a lot, and I use post content and then wait for people to comment and react, and then we start conversations. I invited 20 people to a masterclass. I got 4 people sign up, and then when it comes to the show up rate, the show up rate was 0% actually, but many people were, but not many. Everyone who signed up was interested in watching the replay of the Client Revolution Masterclass. So the emails went out, the replay went out, and I didn't book any calls. So it was 0 calls for this. And but I must say that it was a fascinating experience. I honestly went beyond what I thought I could do. I always struggled writing emails and most importantly setting up email sequences on a software. It was a hurdle for me. It was difficult. It was not fun and exciting, but I did it. Also, I launched everything super quickly. I was dealing with 3 projects for my business and 1 additional project from another place. I was juggling like crazy. I don't know how. I still don't know how I did it. Yeah, I don't know how I did it. But you get what I'm saying. It was March was a very crazy busy month, and I still managed to finish everything that I wanted to finish, except for the fact that I delayed my masterclass 1 week. That's just a small thing. I also got to tell my story. I told my story of how Patrick came to teach how entrepreneurs can finish their marketing courses. I shared my best strategies. I simplified my frameworks a lot. I managed to tell the stories of how I discovered all those frameworks. It was a fascinating experience. I'm super proud of that, and I'm super proud of being able to simplify my frameworks so that they take less work and create more impact. So back to the numbers. Here's a very important lesson. Well, every time somebody fails, let's call it failure. I, honestly, I'm very far from dissatisfied with the experience. So let's call it failure. The default for most people when they fail is to change the strategy. So there are going to be a lot of entrepreneurs who are just going to quit. This is very sad, but for some people, it's a lot to take. And they just think that they worked so hard and it didn't pay off and it didn't make sense to do it anymore. But there are going to be a lot of other people, what I like to call the motivated clients, who are going to seek for another strategy. They said that the first strategy didn't work. So we need a different strategy, right? Wrong. This is what this subtlety between business foundation and business strategy comes at play again. And I also want to question one of those big assumptions that go around on the internet and in real life too. Well, I forgot about real life. Sometimes I do. Yeah, there is more than the internet. And that is one of the most annoying quotes I've ever heard. You're not going to like this. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. According to the internet, that quote was said, I guess, by Albert Einstein. I'm questioning quotes a lot lately. I've learned some weird stuff where apparently there are lots of things that people attribute to certain historic figures that they actually have never said. It doesn't matter. The point is that it's not insanity to do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. So, are you saying that the people who crash against the same wall over and over are right? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you are working on your business foundation, this quote becomes completely irrelevant. Let me explain. So, what a lot of people overlook, and that is part of this mindset of the foolproof system that anyone can use to get results. They ignore the business foundation. Let me tell you how things work. So imagine that the business foundation, by the way, it's something that you build constantly. So you may not have money, you may not have skills, you may not have connections, but all those things you can get, you can obtain through time, through work, through through strategy. You can obtain them, and that is going to help you solidify the foundation. So let me put it in simpler terms. If you have a certain foundation today and apply a strategy and it doesn't work, you take that same strategy and apply it 90 days later and it could work. Why? Because you had 90 days to build a stronger business foundation. Examples: on day one, you may have 100 followers. You apply a strategy from the foolproof system and it doesn't work. 90 days later, you apply the same strategy, but your following went up. So now instead of 100 followers, you have, let's say, 700 followers. And it turns out the strategy worked. Working could be at very, very different levels. Maybe the first time you tried the strategy, you made zero sales, you created 5 leads, but 90 days later, you have 7 times the following, you got 25 leads, and you made one sale. So what happened here? You, by solidifying the business foundation, you took the same action at a different time, at the different given time, and you were successful. So this whole the definition of insanity quote is also a myth. Are you following me now? Are you really, really breaking through chains, breaking free from chains that are holding you back? And what's very, very disturbing about our default of resorting to the new strategy instead of trying the same one again is that we are not, we can't achieve success because there is no consistency. You could do the strategy once and fail, and you can get better at it. You can improve your copywriting, or you can improve your software or your funnel skills, or you can know your audience on a deeper level. That's another foundation piece, by the way, knowing your audience on a deep level. You solidify that business foundation, and the same strategy is going to have a different result over time. As a matter of fact, I myself will apply the perfect webinar strategy over and over and over and over until I make it perfect, until I become the best at it, until my delivery becomes flawless, until all my secrets break the exact limiting beliefs that people have, until my offer becomes the best it could. All of that comes from building a solid business foundation, investing in yourself, your skills, growing a following, right? Improving your process of getting leads, improving your presentations, improving your sales goals, like all of those things solidify the business foundation and increase your chances of success even when you follow the same strategy. All right. I hope you love that. And there is more for you. By now, you must have a pretty good idea of the difference between business strategy and business foundation. You have a pretty good idea of what success is and isn't. And I am sure that you're also clear on some of the things that you need to be focusing on in order to solidify that business foundation. So now on section three of the show, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. So we covered a few of them, which is how you can solidify your business foundation. So it would be ideally you would spend some time evaluating your current business foundation. How much are you making? How many leads are coming to you into your world every day or every week or every month? How many calls are you having? How are those calls going? How many clients are you getting? More foundation. What kind of positioning do you have? Do you have 10 years experience? Do you have 5 years experience? Have you helped one person go from point A to point B? And do you have a degree in marketing or business? And do you have you worked with somebody super popular like a big mentor like Tony Robbins? Have you? Like all of those things contribute to your business foundation. Also, what kind of niche do you have? Is it something where you can make a ton of money from very few people? Is that something where your model is more about making very little money, but from thousands or hundreds of thousands of people? Like, what is your business model? Is it strong? Is it a good idea? Is it something where there is no competition? Is it something where there is so much competition that new businesses grow, turn up every day, which means that it's a trend, which means that you could actually be successful in that niche? Then, what about uniqueness? What is unique about your strategy, your product, or your service? Are you able to deliver value results to your clients in half the time than your competitors do? Can you do that in a quarter of the time as your competitors do? How many followers do you have? How um, how much do they trust you? What kind of like trust relationships do you have with your audience? Do you have a million followers that they don't care about you, or do you have 500 followers who are diehard fans? Business foundation. How good is your offer? Is it something that people buy like crazy? Is it something that only has a 5% conversion rate? Is it something that it's very high ticket and people are happy to buy it because they're going to get a ton of value? Those things are extremely important. And you build them. If you don't have the authority or you think you don't, you can build it. Build it by serving people. Build it by studying more, studying your competition, studying from uh, studying your niche from books, from blogs, from YouTube videos, and strengthen the foundation. Invest on your own personal foundation. That's another one. You could, if you think that you're struggling with your mindset, you know, amplify your mindset, like elevate it with personal development work. And what could happen is that you take the same strategy, you get a different result. That's exactly what we're looking for. What you do today could have a different outcome 90 days later. Why? Because your business foundation is being solidified. And this is an investment. This is something that you have to do on an ongoing basis. You solidify your business foundation by getting to know your audience on a deep level. Research them, talk to them, see what kind of messaging your competitors have, and you will know your audience on a deeper level, which means that you have a more solid foundation. You can attract them through your messaging, and you will increase your chances of being successful. Period. So I am very grateful that I had the opportunity to share about this business foundation to completely destroy many of the annoying myths that go around on the internet about what it takes to be successful. This is the important work. This is what it takes to be successful. And if you are an entrepreneur, this video alone could totally transform your life and business. If you are a marketing expert, if you're that super guru who's been successful, but you really want more of your clients achieve success in your programs, you have to teach them about business foundation, and you have to improve your program so that you teach that, so that they learn it, they use it, and they will get much better results. So inspire your people to work on that business foundation and stop being a copycat of all this nonsense that pretends to be personal growth and it's not. All right, people. Thank you for coming to Client Success Secrets. This was episode 6. We go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I can't wait to see what we can create together. Take care.